Let's have a chat, shall we? Look, we all know the market isn't great right now, but if I'm being honest, it's really not all that bad either. Look, I'll be the first to admit, when the market's hot, it doesn't take much to sell a home.
We just cheer the price up a bit and get it sold.
2 years ago, you could have done a for sale by owner and still received like 10 offers. The only question there is how much more could you have gotten with great representation?
We could make a lot of money.
Well, now that the market is more normal, you're seeing the majority of homes on the market just kind of tend to sit there and stagnate. So today, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why your home isn't selling in this market and reveal a few dirty industry secrets that I'm actually likely to get into a lot of trouble for speaking about. So let's get real honest here for a bit and deep dive into some uncomfortable conversations. Now, before we get started, much of what I'm going to discuss here honestly has to do with poor representation, aka crappy realtors. Some sellers are their own worst enemy, while others simply hired the wrong agent. I'll put it like this. If you were diagnosed with a life-threatening disease, would you look for the cheapest doctor around? Would you even consider a part-time doctor who dabbles in medicine? What about a lawyer? If you were facing criminal charges, would you use your wife's friend from PTA who just got her law degree, or would you actually go out and find the very best attorney you could afford? Well, for most people, their home is their most valuable asset. So using inexperienced or part-time agents makes about as much sense as the examples that I just gave you. Now, ultimately, you'll never know how much more money you would have made with better representation. So here comes some free advice for you. Okay, now first, this seems pretty obvious, but let me explain. The majority of homes right now are simply overpriced. The answer to why is more complex though. Now, some sellers are completely delusional and ultimately you'll never convince them of reality. Now, where it gets complex is this. Every seller wants the most they can get for their property. We can all understand that. The problem is that agents who don't do much business tend to be so desperate to win a listing appointment that they overshoot the value. Now, if I tell you that your home is worth, say, $450,000, and this other agent comes in and tells you it's worth $500,000, it stands to reason you're gonna go with the agent who quoted you the highest number. Most people simply want to be told what they want to hear. It's just human nature. An agent who actually sells homes, though, isn't likely to waste their time setting an unreasonable expectation.
I'm just being real with you, man.
It's a waste of the agent's time as well as the homeowner. Now, for agents that actually spend money marketing properties like myself, it's also a substantial waste of money. Now, for weaker agents or the more shrewd agents, they'll take an overpriced listing on the hopes that they can get a potential buyer from that listing and or just beat up that same seller down the road with some serious price reductions. Now, by the time you figure out that your agent misrepresented the value to you, it's months down the road and likely still months away from the expiration of your listing agreement. So on several occasions, I've actually had to turn listings down because I knew I would never be able to meet the seller's expectation. I'll tell that same client to use the agent that told them that they could do better, but to sign a very short-term contract. That way, when the seller actually realizes that I was being honest with them, they can get out of their contract and relist with me with minimal wasted time. Now, at number 2, we have marketing. Okay, look, I know iPhones have come a long way, but when it comes to indoor architectural photography, phones simply cannot compete with professional photography, not to mention the composition that photographers can create. Now, every time I see a photo of the toilet in a spare bathroom with the seat up, I want to reach through my laptop and just smack that listing agent. And just because we can now upload 100 photos per listing doesn't always make it a good idea. We don't need 6 photos of that 2-car garage.
They're identical, Harmon. It's the same picture over and over.
Look, almost all buyers start their search online. It's no different than dating. We all post photos from 10 years ago, right after that breakup when we stopped eating for a while and we're in the best shape of our life. We lie about loving hiking and being so wonderfully adventurous. Meanwhile, we're posting this in our sweats on the sofa after binging Chick-fil-A and right before we start a new season on Netflix, right? So marketing your home is no different. You literally have seconds to catch a buyer's attention. Great photos extend the time a potential buyer will look at your listing. Now, if you're lucky, they might actually read that listing. Imagine that. Now, all of my listings have professional photography, video walkthroughs, and it's all wrapped together in a custom website. But all of that costs money. Most agents honestly can't afford to spend over $1,000 to properly market a listing, especially since they don't even get paid if the home doesn't sell.
No can do.
I've sold countless homes to motivated out-of-state buyers who simply felt more comfortable since the video walkthrough gave them a greater sense of the floor plan and dimensions. Now, would that seller have sold the house either way? Sure. But out-of-state buyers tend to be more motivated by desperation and can oftentimes result in higher offers and greater retention levels once you're in escrow. The real question is, how much less would these homes have sold for to lesser motivated buyers if I didn't spend that kind of money on marketing? Now, this leads us to the real big ugly. Let's talk about commissions. Now, in general, you get what you pay for here. Discount brokers make money on volume, not quality. So you save a few grand on the front end, but tend to lose thousands on the back end since that broker can't really afford to spend too much time negotiating and grinding out the best deal for you. But that's not what I'm here to focus on right now. What I'm about to discuss is what never seems to be discussed. It's the amount your agent is offering the buyer's agent. A normal commission is 6%, 3 to the listing agent and 3 to the buyer's agent. But like most aspects of real estate, this number is highly negotiable. In order to compete, agents that can't afford to market their properties or don't do much business tend to discount their rate accordingly. Now, whether it's 5% or even 4%, the main question you as a seller should be asking is, how much are you offering the buyer's agent? This is the part of the equation nobody thinks to ask or wants to discuss. This simple question could be the difference between your home selling or not. It could easily be the $50,000 difference in sales price, easily. Here in Las Vegas, in a normal market, the buyer's agent receives a 3% or maybe a 2.5% commission. So when you sign that 4% commission, if that agent is only offering 2% to the buyer's agent, you're essentially just shooting yourself directly in the foot. Some sellers will just inherently cut off their nose to spite their face. Their inherent cheapness gets in the way of the big picture. Who cares about $2,000 to $5,000 in commission if that earns you $10,000 to $20,000 more with higher offers and or avoiding costly price reductions?
It makes a lot of sense, and it's better to keep it real.
I've had sellers reduce the price literally $50,000 instead of just offering an extra $5,000 in commissions to avoid that price reduction. But here's the part nobody wants to be honest about. Who on earth wants to work for less money? Let's just be honest. If you were an agent and one home paid you 3% while the other paid you 2%, which property would you be more inclined to promote? It's a rhetorical question. Now, obviously, it's highly unethical to boycott a listing that pays a lower commission. But if you don't think that doesn't happen, you're being exceptionally naive. Look, most agents don't make a ton of money. So when the market tanks like it did last year, deals become far and few between. So for the average agent, the difference between that 2% commission versus a 3% commission could literally mean paying their bills or not paying their bills. Several times on my personal flips, I've offered 5% commissions and or bonuses to agents because that was still cheaper than lowering the price to slide into a lower price bracket. In the end, it's just all money. Who really cares where that money is going as long as you, the seller, net the most money as possible? Now, until recently, the buyer's commission wasn't even public knowledge, but now anyone can look on Zillow and see the amount the buyer's agent receives as a commission. So if you're a buyer and your agent can't seem to get you into that home that you really want to see, maybe check out that commission. If it's a 2% commission, perhaps your agent is boycotting it. Conversely, if you're a seller and you're not sure what you agreed to, just look at your own listing on Zillow and see what your agent is offering. Now, I know multiple agents in town that take 6% listings, keep 4% for themselves, and only offer 2% out to the buyer's agent. Now, ultimately, their clients suffer as a result of their absolute greed. In reality, their clients are clueless as to why they're not getting showings or offers, but then their agent comes back at them for price reductions until the property sells. Ultimately, it's much more money in that agent's pocket, and they apparently have no conscience that it wound up costing their own client thousands of dollars in missed offers and subsequent price reductions. But that's a story for another time. All right, so to wrap this up, be sure to look at the recent sales in your neighborhood and be honest with your agent and yourself about the home's real value. Is your home really that much more upgraded than the last sale? Or is this agent telling you what you want to hear? Now, make sure your agent is at least providing professional level photography and or some form of video content or interactive tour to market your home. Forget about those open houses. They're free for agents, which is why agents who can't afford to properly market your home offer to hold open houses instead. Finally, make sure that you discuss the amount of commission you're offering the buyer's agent before you sign that contract with your listing agent. You want the buyer's agent to be happy to sell your home versus looking for any excuse to get their buyer away from your home. Even if you're in escrow, that buyer's agent is 10 times more likely to try to keep that deal alive if they're being compensated well for it. Now, if not, they'll honestly just encourage their buyer to just walk from the deal so they can potentially make more money on literally any other house. Now, before I get in trouble for telling you guys this, let me disclaim that I've literally never boycotted a home because of the commission. I've been bummed out for sure, okay? In the end, I'm not desperate for money and my time is money. So while it is a bummer when you get stiffed on the commission, I'd rather have a happy client and simply move on to the next deal. It never hurts to build some good karma and, hopefully that client refers more clients to me and, well, it just all tends to work out at the end of the year anyhow. Well, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you found this insightful, and please be sure to share, like, and click to subscribe for more of these topics, updates, and property tours. Deuces.